My name's Alexis. I'm 29, and up until that night, I thought I had everything figured out. Life was good. Or so I thought. I met Dan when I was 22. He was the kind of guy who made me feel safe. He had a good job, a stable life, and he was nice. Maybe too nice. But in the beginning, I didn't mind. He treated me with respect, always listened, and made me feel like I was the most important thing in his life. I thought, hey, this is it. I've got my guy. But over the years, things started to change. Not in any dramatic way at first. It was little things, like how he'd never want to make decisions. Where we went for dinner, what movie we watched, what we did on weekends. I didn't mind making decisions at first, I liked being in control. But over time, it started to feel like I was carrying the weight of everything in our relationship. And Dan? Well, he was just there. I never said anything. I didn't want to be the nagging girlfriend, always pushing him to step up. But inside, I started feeling this growing sense of frustration. I would tell myself, it's fine. It's just the way he is. He's a good guy. He loves me. But love can only get you so far. And that night I realized love wasn't enough anymore. It started as just a normal evening. We were having dinner, just the two of us, like we did every Wednesday. He made spaghetti, a dish I loved, but it felt off. I couldn't explain why, but it felt like we were just going through the motions. He sat across from me, his eyes tired but kind, and I just snapped. I don't know, Dan. I started, trying to keep my voice even. I'm just tired of this. He looked up from his plate, confused. Tired of what? Tired of always making decisions. Tired of always being the one who handles everything. You never step up, Dan. You're not a bad guy, but honestly, you're not the man I'd brag about. His eyes widened slightly, and for a moment, I thought he'd react. Maybe get defensive. Maybe argue. Even get upset. But no, he just looked at me blankly. Then he did something that threw me off even more. He smiled. Not a real smile, but that type of smile that's just there to avoid an argument. Cool, he said, his voice flat. And with that, he stood up, grabbed his jacket from the chair, and walked out of the room. He didn't say another word. No argument, no reaction. Just cool. I sat there in stunned silence. Did that really just happen? I thought he'd snap back, maybe throw some words at me or at least try to explain himself. But he didn't. He just walked out. And for a second, I thought maybe I had crossed a line. But then I told myself, no, I had every right to say it. He needed to hear it. He needed to know that I was unhappy. But then, as the minutes ticked by, something inside me started to feel uneasy. Why wasn't he back yet? Why was he taking so long? And as I waited for him to return, I started to feel this overwhelming sense of dread. I tried to text him, but no response. Dan, where are you? Can we talk? Still nothing. I called him. No answer. Panic started to creep in. What had I done? Why was he acting like this? He wasn't this type of guy. Dan was always the one who stuck around, even when things got hard. But now, he was avoiding me. He wasn't coming back. An hour passed, then 2. Finally, I decided to go to his place. I couldn't just sit there wondering what had happened. When I got there, his car was gone. The lights in the house were off. He wasn't home. Not a single sign of him. I felt my stomach churn as I walked back to my car, helpless. What the hell is going on? That's when I saw the envelope on the passenger seat. The envelope with my name on it, written in his handwriting. Alexis, it started. I guess we both knew this day would come eventually. I've been waiting for the right moment, trying to figure out how to make you understand that I don't think we're right for each other. Not because you're bad, but because I'm not the man you need me to be. I've tried, Alexis. I really have, but I'm not the man you're looking for. And honestly, I don't think I ever was. I'm sorry it took me so long to realize this. I've been avoiding it. But after everything you said tonight, I know it's time for me to go. I can't be the person you want me to be, and I can't keep pretending that I'm enough. You deserve someone who can give you the life you want, someone who can step up. Goodbye, Dan. I stared at the letter, my hands shaking. Goodbye? That was it. He was gone. Just like that. He didn't fight for us. He didn't argue. He just left. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I'd been hit with a ton of bricks. How had it all gone so wrong so quickly? In one sentence, in one moment of frustration, I had driven him away. And now, he was gone for good. The house felt empty. I couldn't breathe. I sat there for what felt like hours, the letter still in my hand, wondering where it all went wrong. How had I let it get to this point? Was it really just that one sentence? Or had I been ignoring the signs all along? I called him again. This time he picked up. Dan, I whispered. I'm sorry, he said, his voice hoarse. I thought I could be what you wanted, but I can't. And maybe that's my fault, but I can't keep pretending I'm something I'm not. And then, the line went dead. I sat in my car, in the cold, in complete silence. The world felt like it was closing in around me. I had done this. I had pushed him to the edge with one careless, selfish comment. And now, I had to live with the consequences.